Brighton Radio.
Well, in recent knees. See, I'm doing it already. I'm telling Katie all the mistakes I tend to make. Good to see you, Katie, but I want to tell everybody that in recent years, knee replacement surgery has, as you know, become very commonplace with younger people and no longer restricted to an older generation. Happened to you at 54?
Yeah, and that was 2 years after the verdict that I needed to have it done.
What, when you had the operation, you mean?
Yes.
Ah, right. Okay, the book is called, I think it's a great title, A Joint Decision, Total Knee Replacement, and it's sort of not a book that you would think you would go and read before you went to bed at night, like a novel or a mystery or anything.
Probably not.
But seriously, I've had friends and people I know that have had bad knee problems before the operation, and they go through terrible pain.
Yeah, Jen, and that is the problem with total knee replacements. You have to get through a whole lot of pain before you get to the point where somebody's going to say, well, yeah, you need to have a knee replacement. Now, it could be a partial or it could be a full, but, you know, it's still a big decision and a big operation.
There would be early symptoms with pain, surely.
Well, osteoarthritis is just rife in, you know, the older generation, and not just the older generation, but everybody. And it's a wear and tear condition. So it's not like you can take a blood test to find out if you're going to have a knee replacement because of osteoarthritis. It's pain-based. And for some people, it's okay.
Would it be picked up if you had the bone density?
No, because that's osteoporosis.
I'm sorry.
And
yes.
I'm talking
okay.
osteoarthritis. Okay. Sorry if I got that wrong.
No, you got it right. I got it wrong. You have to accept that, okay? I have been known to. Now, the whole thing with yourself, at a young age, you started to feel the effects of the pain 2 years before you were 54?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what brought yours about, do you think?
Oh, look, absolutely misspent youth.
Really? Well,
no,
a lot of people could acknowledge that.
I have lived my life to the full. I have hiked the Inca Trail. I have been to Nepal and done the Annapurna Base Camp trek, which was 10 days of up walking, down walking and flat walking.
A lot of people do this.
I know, it's crazy. I don't know why. I wouldn't do it again.
Well, it's there, like they say. Those trails are there and people want to feel fit and see the world. Okay, so that contributed.
Absolutely. But prior to that, I'd been snow skiing, I'd done netball. You know, I've had my first cartilage removal in my right knee was my first skiing trip, or one of my first skiing trips where I stacked it off the lift.
Goodness me. So you were an amateur sports person. You weren't a professional.
No.
So you weren't out there all the time, but obviously it was a very big part of your life. So when we look at the amount of people that do those things, can they be guaranteed that perhaps they will get osteoarthritis?
I think there's a bit of genetics in there as well, and I have to admit that I also carried a lot of weight for a long time. So the obesity factor is also a big contributor to osteoarthritis and that wear and tear on your joints.
Well, when you look at the numbers, sorry to interrupt, when you look at the numbers that you're quoting now, and with the obesity, let's be honest about it, there's a huge obesity problem, and you look at young people heading, well, they are that way, they're maybe going to be heading towards something like this. Look at the weight they're putting on their knees.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, and the pressure, because your gait changes, everything changes when you carry that extra weight.
Ah, right, yes. So when you started to feel this pain, did you seek out treatment in the early stages?
I did, and in fact my surgeon that I was seeing, my orthopaedic surgeon here in Perth, originally said, let's just watch it for a little while. So we waited 12, 18 months, and then I was getting to the point where it was really painful. I wanted to go back, but then of course COVID hit.
Oh yes, of course, yeah, stops everything.
And so I just sat down for the next 5 months and waited until I could get an appointment to do my follow-up on that.
So when did you have the operation?
I had that was interesting, because they went in November, 2 years ago.
Oh, 2020.
Yeah, they went in November, and they took out the rest of the cartilage that was in my knee and said, yep, that's it, you need a partial. No, you don't need a partial, you need a full.
Okay.
And so by Australia Day last year, I was in surgery getting my knee replaced.
Okay, and quite shocked, I suppose, that it had to come to that.
Well, I knew it was going to happen at some stage. It was just when, and COVID just delayed that inevitable response. But also, being 54, I'm very young to have a total knee replacement. I'm used to mum's age having it.
Yes, well, that's what we've always been, thinking that would be the case, unfortunately, as you get very much older, that these things are going to settle in, because things can only last for a certain time. I mean, a car runs out after a while, doesn't it? So the particular sports that you mentioned, they seem to be the ones that people are more prone to get this from, with the quick turning on the knee. The netball one was a very big one on the knees, wasn't it?
Yeah, netball, hockey. I also was a personal trainer, so, did a lot of free weights and things like that as well. So just a lot of wear and tear. So just movement.
Free weight. When you say free weights, if you were at a gym and you were doing leg lifts with weights or something, how
it'd be a barbell and I'd be squatting.
So your knees are copying the weight.
Yes, and your
the
back.
strain.
Yeah, so that constant wear and tear, just that constant movement under pressure.
So when you look at people that go to the gym on a regular basis and work out like that all the time, would they be prone? Sometimes some do and some don't, I suppose, is what you're saying.
I think, again, it comes down to there's a bit of genetics in there as well, and I think that's a contributing factor.
So women as well as men, pretty equal?
Do you know 65% of knee replacements are normally women?
Right. That's because we've been done on the floor scrubbing the lino.
I hope not.
Or whatever. Okay, let's get to, this is great. So you've got when I say hardcover, it's not like a novel hardcover.
Oh, it's paperback.
Paperback. It's really beautifully presented, and it would have taken you a fair while to do this. And were you you'd had the operation when you started?
I came up with the concept before the operation because this book doesn't just talk about recovering from the operation. It talks about how you can set up yourself to best get through surgery, how you can set up your house, your food, what are you going to do with your pets. It's from start to finish. It's about your prehabilitation, not just your rehabilitation.
So when you've had the operation, how inoperative are you after that?
Well, when your leg's full of painkillers, you can bend it 90 degrees. It's fine. It's when you get out of hospital and you go home and then you have to start doing your rehab. And it's really important, and this is something that people forget, is that you actually take your painkillers.
Oh, okay.
Because if you don't take your painkillers, you can't do
How does the leg feel when you've got an artificial...
I just felt the same. It was a little bit warm for quite a while.
Okay.
Like the metal inside was just a little warm. Yeah. But I still got my own kneecap. It's only the joints at the top and the bottom of the actual bone.
So if anyone wants to ring through and put a question to Katie, don't hesitate on 94841927. Actually, if you could share your experience with us, how you have coped, and you've only got a couple of minutes to talk about your health, everyone, because all our friends, that's all we ever do when we have coffee now. How are you? Oh, no, I've got to tell you. Anyway, so to plan, can we have a quick look at that? So you've got your operation coming up in a couple of weeks' time, or do you need a bit more time?
Well, most people have a few months' notice that this is going to happen.
Okay.
And the best thing you can do is start thinking about what's going to impact me to get through surgery. And being healthy is important. Try and lose some weight. Try and quit smoking.
Don't try, do it.
Do it, and stop quitting.
Yeah.
Just quit.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because you don't want to be going through withdrawals in hospital. Do it in plenty of time.
Yeah, good point.
Try to reduce your drinking. Try to get lots of fresh food into your body so it's ready to cope with the surgery and get through the other side.
Yeah, your body does react, doesn't it? If you put stuff in it doesn't like.
No.
And you do, because the taste buds do, but the body doesn't. It's quite true, isn't it?
Exactly. So that's preparing your body. But then there's also, what do I do about the house? Because I'm walking. What happens when I come back and I'm on crutches?
Yeah.
And what do I do with the pets? What do I do about cooking? Who's going to be my carer or my sidekick for the entire process? Because my husband did tell me he was going to look after me for the first 2 weeks after surgery when I was supposed to be taking it easy.
Right, and?
You know what blokes are like.
Golf?
Oh, no, just rolled his eyes every time I asked for something.
Yeah, well, you really do have to have that planned out, don't you?
Yeah, and look,
is there care out there? Can you actually pay for care?
Well, you tend to try and find somebody who's a friend or a relative, or if you've got a social worker because you don't have somebody,
that's what I mean.
They're more than happy to help you out with those.
So
things.
how long, okay, well, we have to talk about the preparation a bit, but how long is recovery? A couple of months? Longer?
Between 3 to 6 months.
That's a long time. Okay. So getting yourself as healthy as you possibly can, and you really need to lose weight, don't you? People hate hearing that, but you do have to be.
It just makes it so much easier for you.
Yes, you're right. Okay, so getting yourself as healthy as you can, organising the housework to be done, that's a big thing.
Yeah, and the gardening. Because you won't be able to garden.
Oh, gosh, water in summer, water the garden.
Oh, that's retic.
Hopefully for some. Pets to be looked after, walked.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Get yourself a pet sitter if you can. Make sure they're well prepared and your dog or your cat likes them.
So how much weight did you lose?
Well, I originally had a fairly big weight loss that's what turned me into a personal trainer, or converted me to a personal trainer. But for this particular surgery, I only had to drop about 4 or 5 kilos.
Oh, okay. But you already had worked on that.
Oh, yeah, I did that by the age of 40.
Well, see, it does work, doesn't it?
Yeah. It was still my first 40 years of walking with too much weight.
Okay. Oh, right. Isn't that interesting, all that walking?
Yeah.
And see, it's not just the exercise or walking, it is the food that you take in.
Yeah, it's just life.
Yeah.
If you're carrying a little bit of extra weight, you're carrying that every single day and everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So, I saw something here about legal stuff. What did you have to do there?
Well, look, it's always best to make sure, and it's just precautionary, and I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but make sure your will's up to date, your power of attorney, and if you are older and, you've got to make sure that your family know where those documents are, or if somebody's there to talk for you or to advocate for you.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So pain control, when you come out, you are able to take that, and it does help you then to start to restore the leg a little bit?
Yeah, if you don't take your painkillers, you need to take your painkillers so you can do the exercises effectively.
And can you explain what they are, sort of?
Well, I don't prescribe exercises, because I believe your physical trainer, your physiotherapist, anybody that the doctor puts in charge of your recovery should prescribe those things.
Okay, everyone's individual.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
The other thing is about pain is if you don't take your painkillers, your body's fighting the pain and it can't actually recover from the surgery.
So what are you doing after surgery? Are you strengthening the muscles around the replacement? What are you doing?
Well, you're sitting around on your bum for a good
That's right.
2 weeks.
Yeah, of course.
And then you start off with your crutches and you're getting around, and then they slowly encourage you to start getting rid of your crutches and walking unaided. They get you walking on the first
onto
day.
that leg that's had the knee replacement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I didn't have a catheter. I had to get up and go to the ladies in hospital.
Okay.
But I had the walker, so I had support, but I was walking.
Yeah. So, but what are you doing? Are you strengthening the muscle around the replacement?
It's a bit of both. You've got to, basically, your body has to heal around that joint.
Yeah, of course.
And then your ligaments and tendons have been pushed out of the way to put the knee in.
Yes.
So they need to sort of get where you're back at.
I don't want to think about it, really. Gosh. Okay, so with this book, you have got areas here where people can write down their pain level, appointment dates are cleared for surgery. This is the lead up to it, of course.
Absolutely. And look, one of the things that's really important that people forget is you can't actually remember pain 6 or 8 months later after you've had something.
That's why women keep having children.
Oh,
they forget.
I hadn't thought about that. So it's really important that while you're preparing for the surgery, you write down things you can't do now, because that becomes your to-do list, your win list later. Like, I can't walk the dogs. I couldn't. If the dogs pulled on the lead, and I had 2 big dogs, that angle would really kill my knees. So you write it down now, and it becomes your to-do list and your success list 6 months later.
Yeah.
And because people don't always have their phones on when they're going to hospital, so write your contact list down, write your drugs and all your I call them herbs and spices.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So people can back you up if you don't have that information.
Yeah.
Okay, getting your home ready for your return. Install a toilet at a comfortable height. How can you do that?
Well, you can get the over toilet seats that you can hire from like the
rehab places, I guess.
I wasn't going to say that, but
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and
so you don't have to bend.
Yeah, because if you don't want to bend your knee, and you don't be sitting on the throne for too long if you can't bend your knee.
No.
So you need to be just a little bit higher up so you can get yourself up, and with handles so you can push yourself up with your hands.
Install a horizontal and or a vertical grab bar on the walls. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Again, you're not very stable when one of your knees is out of commission for a while.
One of those shower seats.
Oh, the best thing ever. Do you know my friend at work? She's like, I'm like, yeah, I've got a seat, so when I'm in the shower, I sit down to do my shower. She goes, you're 54, not 82. Why do you need a seat in the shower? And I said,
it's there for when you get to 82, eh?
Oh, absolutely. I can leave it there. But I said, what happens when you're standing up on one leg with 2 good legs? I can't do that.
That's very good. But, I think everyone, as we get a wee bit older, everyone has to look at those sort of things so you don't fall over. The other one, and I think we should be aware of this at any age, is power cords to prevent trips, people leaving shoes around on the floor.
Rugs.
Rugs are the worst. The corner rugs,
Pets. Pets that run under your feet.
Yeah. Night lights down dark hallways, yeah.
Oh, and it's a nightmare trying to get up in the middle of the night to go to for ladies when you can't get your crutches on your hands, can't find them because there's no light.
Yeah, good point.
Or you pick them up and they're back to front.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about, isn't there?
There is.
A nesting place where you have everything at arm's length, I suppose.
Absolutely. The couch with a little table around you with all your bits on it.
Yeah.
And a bell for the husband.
I bet they love that. No wonder he rolled his eyes. Commonly used items at waist height. Oh, so you don't have to bend down and squat.
Yes.
Okay. If a clothes dryer, or if it's a ground level, get a drying rack for your laundry. Yeah, see all these things you've got to do normally.
Yeah, because you can't really go out and hang the clothes up on the line, and it's a little bit hard to bend down and get into your tumble dryer as well.
Well, very true. A gardener, you're going to have to hire a gardener. It's going to cost a bit extra to do all these things.
It does, but there's lots of services that will come around and do that for you on a monthly basis, and it's not something you're going to do a one-off. You'd probably look to get somebody in the month before your surgery and then keep them for 3 or 4 months until you can actually get back to doing that comfortably and not push yourself to try and do those things too fast.
It's a big event, isn't it? Checking your home security. I mean, we should do that all the time, shouldn't we? And any scheduled deliveries while you're in hospital.
Oh, nothing says rob me more than a pile of newspapers on the front doorstep.
Well, good point. It is a very, very good point. There's a whole lot more. Look, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Arthur, we'll be back to you in just a moment. We'll clear this and be right back.
Curtin Radio.
Good afternoon, Arthur.
Oh, good afternoon, Jenny.
Yes.
I'm an ex-Navy chef after 27 years in the services, and working in the galleys all the time, my knees took a heck of a toll. So when I finally had to get the operation, I was fortunate enough to be at Edith Cowan University to the gym, and I got lots of weights to get the thigh muscles going. And with the thigh muscles, it strengthens the bottom of the knee. Okay. And I've had this operation about 7 or 8 years ago, and I keep going to the gym, and it strengthens the leg up, and I've never had a problem since.
That's good news.
I was back in the gym within 4 weeks, and slowly building up, and I only ever used the walking stick.
Oh, that's
it's been marvellous ever since.
That's great. What do you reckon, Katie?
Oh, Arthur, you are a man after my own heart, because all I talk about is actually taking control of your rehabilitation and making sure that the results you get are what you're happy with, and it sounds like you did exactly that.
So the muscle strength at the top of the thigh.
Yeah, it's called, there's a couple of
get it.
Muscles in that area that help stabilise your knee, and by keeping those nice and strong, and your physiotherapist will help you with that.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
The idea is to do it before you even have the operation, because once you had the operation, you lose all your muscle strength, so you've still got some there to carry on building it up.
Well, that's great. That is great advice for sharing it. And thank you very much, Arthur. Good on you.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you indeed. Okay, we do have Libby. G'day, Libby.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Go ahead.
Look, when I say recent amputee, about 3 years ago, but I am on my own, so I had to do it on my own. So I came home from the hospital. It was a sudden decision to have to eventually amputate my leg, so down below knee. So I didn't really have any warning or any planning. So it happened, and I went to rehab, but I only stayed there for 4 days. I wanted to come home, and which I did. I came home. Well, I came to my daughter's for about a week, and then I came home to I live in a lifestyle village, hallelujah, and I managed on an wheelchair for nearly 12 months because I had a setback with my leg and everything. But my theory in the whole journey has been laughter.
That helps.
Look, I can do all the things. You can manage everything. I used to do my washing. I'd hang it on the line. I'd hang onto the line with one hand and peg something with the other. And everything's possible, but surround yourself with happy people.
Yep, helps.
And just keep yourself active, even though at times the last thing you want to do is get out of bed and stick a leg on. Just positive. Yeah. Be positive. There's always people worse off than you, but
good theory.
You get on with it and enjoy your life. Yeah. And that's all I wanted to say.
You're an inspiration, Libby. Good on you.
Oh, not really.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
But friends and gather yourself around with friends and laughter. And, a wine doesn't hurt either. So.
Oh, you've got me now, Libby. Thank you, Libby, very, very much.
Not the end of the world.
No.
Okay, thanks.
Good on you. What a sweetie. We have got, Trevor. Is Trev there? Hi, Trev.
Hello.
Hello. Go ahead.
Jen, I just wanted to recount my experiences. In 2013, I'd had exploratory or clean-up surgery on my knee. That was a waste of time, and I was dead frightened of a knee replacement. And the most important thing I felt was that before my surgery, I was sent down to Hollywood, and she spent nearly an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours with me, late, all that sort of thing, and an interview of your habits and whatnot. And she finished up by saying, as long as you do everything that you're told to do during the surgery and after, she says, you'll be okay. And I did all of that. And I agree that the getting a 90-degree bend on your knee was pretty painful. But that's really the only pain that I recall. And within, 4 or 5 weeks of that surgery, I was walking back normally. It was unbelievable. I was too chicken to do it when it first came up. I wasted probably 2 years before I had the replacement. I recommend it to anyone. I'm nearly 70 now, so it was 62, 61 something. And fantastic stuff. And it's guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, it'll last me 20 years. So
good on you. You'll see it out. Good on you, Trev. It's good to hear a good story as a result of the operation. It really is, for other people that are a little bit nervous about it.
Exactly. And, this is what I was trying to do with my book, is
Thank
to
you,
take
Trev.
away some of that nervousness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, good on them. Yeah, well, that's what your book has done. It gives people hope and how to prepare the treatment, or not the theory. What do you do afterwards?
The rehab.
That's the one. Afterward is very, very important. Look, we've got another call, but we're going to have to be very quick on this one. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Jen. How are you?
You're good, thank you, Tom. Go ahead.
I guess I'm speaking on behalf of my wife. She's had 4 replacements, both knees and both hips.
Oh, dear.
Oh, she's tough inside, though. But I think the secret, she's as good as gold. Now, you'd never, ever know she'd had an operation. And I think the secret is whatever exercise she was told to do, she did.
Yeah.
And she's told to do this exercise for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. She did it. And we know people, a woman that had the same operation, one of them, but she didn't exercise, she may as well not had the operation.
Well, and that's exactly what I encourage. It's about doing it right and supporting yourself.
Take advice.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I say if she was told to do a certain exercise, that's exactly what she did. And as I said, you never know she had an operation now.
Buy the book. Oh, that is great. You give her our best wishes and tell her she's wonderful.
I will.
Good on you, Tom. Thank you very much. Now, you've got the book out there, Katie Vincent, Your Handbook for Success, A Joint Decision. Good title. And you've got a website.
I do, yes. If you're interested, it's at www.katievincent.com.
It's K-A-T-I-E.
Oh, no, it's K-A-T-Y.
Ah, there you go.
Think Katy Perry.
So it's Katie?
Katie Vincent.
Yes, that's simple. .com.
And you can buy the book on there. You can also have a bit of a read about me.
We really only touched on all of it. There's so much there post-surgery, and you're keeping diaries all the way through it. So when you're planning to have the operation, you can pick up the book, start with it, and then as you've had the operation, we've prepared for home. You've got your husband smiling and happy.
That's it.
Not rolling his eyes. He's happy to do everything for you.
That's it. And then it becomes a record of how well you did do.
Yeah, good on you. Lovely to see you, Katie.
Thanks, Jen, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Curtin Radio.